You're listening to DraftKings Network.
You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account, a friend paying you back, or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card, or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply. You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account, a friend paying you back, or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card, or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz podcast.
Papi, papi, con cual papi, 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 con cual voy, donde, con cual, donde sea papi.
Coming in to meet the legendary Tony here at the legendary Arbetters, baby. Tony! 3-point Tony, man. How you doing?
Good to see you, Ron. This is hollow ground.
It is hollow ground.
Your name is on the wall.
Well, you know what?
Did you pay for it?
I spent a lot of time here, man. High school days, this was the stomping grounds. We come in here and we rag on the Columbus guys.
Where'd you go to high school?
Miami Palmetto.
Palmetto, okay. So we're already bitter rivals from the beginning because I'm a Killing guy.
Oh, the Big Cat Trophy. I'll have you say that I won it every year that I went to school.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't win it once. The reason why, Tim Hardaway Jr. stopped me every single time.
That's right.
Can you take us back to the beginning?
Yeah, I was born and raised in New York City. My father was Cuban, my mother from Colombian descent. My first language was Spanish, and I purposely forgot Spanish. I was
really?
looking, I purposely forgot it because I just thought that was like a bad label for me because it gave people a reason to make fun of me.
Right.
I never played a sport in my life. Okay, it wasn't until in high school that the coach pulled me out of the hallway and said, "Hey, Ron, you're going to play basketball." I laughed at him. I said, "Have you seen me walk? I mean, come on, it's ridiculous." And we went to the tryouts. You go to the tryouts, and then they'll pin up the people who make the team on the list.
Right.
And I go up there, and then I see my name on the list. I see these guys who didn't make it, and then I'm ridiculed even more.
Right. You got there because you're tall.
I got there because I was tall, And I went into the coach and said, "Coach, you're killing me. I don't even want to be on this team. It's just making things worse for me." I don't forget what he told me. He said, at the time, because I was so tall, he said, "Ron, you can't coach height."
It's true.
So
you still can't, by the way.
I'm going to take the time and invest in you. And that coach, he's probably the single most important person in my life outside of my immediate family.
How did you get from the trajectory of good at school, playing sports, giving you the confidence in sports, left turn animals? Like, where did that come from?
Animals were the focus from the very beginning. The left turn was sports, was getting to be accepted into society. When I was a kid, there was one show, Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom. And there were two co-hosts in that show. There was a guy named Marlon Perkins and another guy named Jim Fowler. Mm-hmm. Jim was the guy who did the crazy stuff. I mean, Jim was jumping out of helicopters on top of caribou. He was, rappelling down mountains, grabbing condors with one hand. I saw the guy catch a jaguar in the Amazon with a throw net. I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to be that guy. And when you have a job, if you love doing what you do, you're really not going to work.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's the reason why I've been at the zoo for over 44 years. It's because, dude, when you get paid to do things that people pay to do, I just got back from 2 weeks in Africa.
Yeah, an incredible trip.
I've traveled around the world.
So you go from working with other animals in a capacity that lands you on Sábado Gigante with Don Francisco.
It's true. I was literally at the zoo as a zookeeper, walking in the
normal day,
and I was doing, I think, a presentation about an animal. And this guy, Don Francisco, who I have no clue who he is.
Right.
He comes up to me in this kind of a heavy accent. He goes, "I would like you to be on my show." I said, okay, well, what's your show? He goes, "I have a show called Sábado Gigante out of Chile, and I'd like you to be on my show." I go, "Okay, it's in English, right?" He goes, "No, in Spanish." I go, "Well, I don't really speak a lot of Spanish." He goes, "No, I teach you."
And nobody in your family spoke Spanish?
Oh, my father and my mother always spoke Spanish. So I heard it,
okay,
but I didn't speak it. I literally put it in the back burner. And he goes, I'll teach you. I had no idea what this show was. I got home. I told my parents, I said, listen, this guy, Don Francisco. Don Francisco?
It's like the biggest thing on the planet.
This guy is like the #1 Hispanic television star in the world. And I'm like, what? So he invites me on the show. I tried to do some research on the show. There wasn't a whole lot of internet and stuff back then. And the thing comes across to me like a combination of Let's Make a Deal, The Gong Show, Oprah, Phil Donahue, and some other crap all put together in 3 hours of insanity.
Yes.
Insanity, okay? There's a bunch of girls out there that are doing the coochie coochie dance, and there's stuff going on in the show that would never pass on American television.
Right.
You got women that are really very
scantily clad.
So it was just one of those things where I'm like, oh my gosh. But that guy became the greatest mentor I've ever had when it comes to television, when it comes to the public. And he taught me something that's so very important, that is never take yourself too seriously. And there's so many of us, even in my profession, especially in my profession, where they get all hung up on things. One of the things I've learned on Dan's show is that, man, you got to learn to laugh at yourself, man. Because if you don't laugh at yourself, you're not enjoying life.
Right.
And Don Francisco told me that. He goes, look at me, Ron. Every Saturday I go out there and I make a total jackass out of myself. And it's true. He put on these goofy hats. He'd do these stupid dances. He looked like an idiot. But he was making people happy. He always wanted me to kiss the models. He had the models go, dar un besito, Ron. I go, no. I always show my ring. I say, no,
Soy
man.
hombre casado.
Soy hombre casado, no puedo hacerlo. No. And that was part of the shtick.
How did you, again, not speaking Spanish, go to an all-Spanish show?
He would talk to me and wait for me to screw up. I would say a word, I would never say it right. He goes, ¿qué? And that became part of the shtick of the show.
Right.
Aquí está, señoras y señores, Ron Magill.
¿Cómo está, don Francisco?
¿Cómo estamos, Ron? Asiento, por favor.
¿En qué país en el mundo tú puedes encontrar flamingos y pingüinos en el mismo lugar? Chile, Galápagos y Sudáfrica.
Chile, en Chile,
Oye, Chile no existe. Chile es cuando hace frío. Yo vivo en Chile.
Yo quiero preguntarte algo. Un día yo puedo venir a este programa y me hablas nada más de los animales y no del español mío, por favor.
Yo tengo como 25 años viéndolos pelear a ellos dos.
30 años estoy hablando.
Y la historia continúa.
30 años y todavía. Tú recuerdas, cuando tú me conociste, yo sabía 2 palabras, sí y no. Y mira cómo lo estoy hablando ahora.
He would tell me after I started improving my Spanish, he would literally say, don't improve it too much, I'm not inviting you back. The shtick of the show is to make fun of your Spanish.
Right.
And he would go afterwards, we'd go in his dressing room, he goes, I thought, he goes, that's what we want to do. We want to have that kind of rapport back and forth.
You've been recognized in a lot of places. What's the most special place to you that you've been recognized?
For me, I guess the most special place is Cuba. The homeland of my father. I went back there doing some conservation work against the backlash of county officials who gave me all kinds of shit about it. And I was very thankful to a Herald columnist who defended me. Fabiola Santiago defended me. She said, he's going there for conservation. Conservation's, the animals in Cuba are not Democrats, Republicans, or communists.
Not political, right?
They're part of the heritage of all of us. Anyway, to make a long story short, I'll never forget, I go into Little Havana, I'm walking down the streets of Little Havana. People are yelling my name, Tony, from the balconies. Ron Magill! Ron Magill! No puedo creer que tan Ron Magill! Ron Magill! People are coming down the stairs and they're coming and they're giving me food they don't have, Tony. They're offering me things that they don't have in their own house. They just want to take a picture and I go, te veo siempre en Sábado Gigante. I go, ¿cómo tú ves Sábado Gigante si eso no es legal aquí en Cuba?
Right.
And they go, el paquete. I go, el paquete? What the hell is el paquete? They got this whole business over there, Tony, where they have these thumb drives. And these guys are like little Blockbuster video stores, little incognito in the corners, where they have the thumb drives, where these people are like pirating the show. They get it to these guys on the thumb, and then they rent out the thumb drives, and people watch Sábado Gigante every Saturday, part of La Paquete. It's all over Cuba. I mean, when they say the Cubans resolve, resuelven.
Always.
I mean, it's unbelievable. I look at the cars. I went into the old cars. I'm going, oh my God, that's beautiful. Classic. I want to have it. Let me look at the engine. I open up the hood. It's like
a
Russian
lawnmower engine.
Exactly. Put together with rubber bands and paper clips from all kinds of different engines. These people are so ingenious in what they do. It was so rewarding to me because I got to be honest with you, Tony. I'd never been to Cuba. And I remember my father, who had since passed away, thinking he was New York. So when I went to New York on the little Cuba, that's the way he spoke. But when I went to Cuba, I realized, no, he was Cuba. I saw my father's face in every one of those faces when they came to me and said, "Oye, hermano, ¿cómo está, compadre?" All this stuff. These are all the terms my father used to use. I said, wow, this is where my roots are.
Yeah.
Here, Tony, they would invite me into their little bodegas and give me food, and they would not take my payment. I had to throw the money at them. Go, no, tu amigo, tu familia aquí en Cuba, tu no puedes, tu dinero no vale nada aquí. How can you do that when I know you're starving?
When you have nothing.
You have nothing. And that makes me proud of them. Makes me proud of my heritage. So that's probably the most meaningful to me now. As the most surprising recognizability of the Sábado Gigante show. That guy Jim Fowler on Wild Kingdom. He became one of my biggest mentors.
Wow. It's like meeting Dan. So like the same way that you have that with Jim Fowler, where you're sitting there watching TV as a kid, I have that same moment where I'm watching him on PTI or whatever, and I'm looking at him, and then now all these years later, we're working
You're
together,
part of the crew.
and he's one of my mentors.
One of the most down-to-earth guys, and he's the one who taught me all this stuff. And of course, he was a huge international star. Mm-hmm. So I asked him to go down with me to Panama to work on this Harper Eagle project. And we had to go way into the rainforest in the Darién, which is on the border of Panama and Colombia. It's not a very safe area, but it's an incredible forest.
A lot of people.
Exactly.
A lot of bad people. Evildoers there.
So we had to take a dugout canoe for 4 hours down the river to get to this village of these indigenous people. I mean, these people living in the forest, like no electricity, no nothing.
In the forest.
Oh, women bare-breasted, stuff like that.
Right.
So I got the GPS to go there, and Jim's with me. After 4 hours, we finally get to the riverbank where the village is, and the chief comes out. Guy just in literally a loincloth. He's wearing nothing else than some beads. From a movie. This is the same thing he's in a movie. He comes up, he looks at me and he goes, "Ron Magill." And I'm not. Now I'm sure I'm being punked. Now I'm sure.
Come on.
Who's doing this? Where's the candid camera here? What's going on here? And Jim looks, oh, come on. I'm the one who's being punked here because Jim's the international star.
Right,
and I'm the
you paid
zookeeper.
this guy to
and I paid this guy to do this Ron Magill, and who's Jim Fowler, right? And I realize it. And he goes, and I go, ¿Cómo tú me conoces? Sábado Gigante. I go, Sábado Gigantes. Si tú no tienes electricidad en el bosque, ¿cómo tú puedes mirar?
Televisor,
no tiene nada. No, te voy a enseñar. We walk with this guy into the village, and as we're walking in the village, they got a television set up there that's rigged in one way or another to a car battery with a satellite dish. And they rig it in such a way that every Saturday, it was like movie night for the entire village, Sábado Gigante.
Oh my God.
Tony, one of the greatest rewards I've had in my career was they couldn't believe that I was there because they see me on this show. And then I said, let's make a video, you guys. And when I got back, I showed it to Don, and he put it on the show.
And they saw their own video.
And to this day, that village is the most famous village in Panama because those are the indigenous people that were on Sábado Gigante.
Wow.
And it was just, and it was a great reflection on Don Francisco too, because he said, this is what my show is all about.
Yeah.
This is what my show is all about. And this shows you how we can connect. So for me, listen, dude, I have lived such a surreal life. I say this.
You really have. I'm not saying that to blow smoke.
But Tony,
I've lived an incredible life.
Except for you kicking my ass in basketball. But anyway, other than that, the bottom line is, if I stepped out of here and die, no one should shed a tear for me because I have lived way beyond any dream I could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
I've got an incredible wife, incredible kids, incredible friends. I say it, I've said it on the show. My favorite saying in the world is that life is not measured by the number of breaths that we take. It's measured by the number of times your breath is taken away.
Yeah.
Breathtaking moments define the quality of your life.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much.
Thank you, man. All right. Have me a hot dog.
Con cual, donde sea papi, boy, con cual, donde sea papi.
Mi gente, thank you for watching Tony Tunite.
Boy, con cual, donde sea papi.
Hey friends, it's Jer Bear here, and I'm here to tell you all about Boost Mobile, which is now a legit nationwide 5G network. So I must take a break from the jokes here for a second and put on my serious voice, because I would never ever joke about a 5G network that has invested billions building 5G towers across the country. Not even once. Not even if Mr. Boost Mobile himself asked me to. There is nothing funny about it. Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store location to learn more. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds, not available in all areas.
Howdy, folks, it's Mike, and look, it's been an exhausting couple of weeks. Even on the show, there's all sorts of debate. Which sport takes it seriously enough? Where's the effort? Let me tell you something. As long as I'm sitting down on the couch and I have a beautiful white can of Miller Lite in my hand, I'm good. I make any sports time a Miller time, and it's the perfect supplement because Miller Lite makes all the moments better with great-tasting light beer for people like you and me who love beer. It's always the perfect time for friends, family, and a great-tasting light beer. Tastes like Miller time. Miller Lite is brewed for taste. It hits different than other light beers. The taste that you know you can depend on. No games, no gimmicks, just great beer for people who like beer. It has simple ingredients like malted barley for rich, balanced toffee note flavors and the iconic golden color that we all know and love. The original light beer since 1975 and still the very best one. Miller Lite. Great taste. 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you, or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Tastes like Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Hey there, wellness warriors. If you're like me, you've given a lot of thought to how to improve your health and wellness routine this year. I've started stretching more, do a little mindfulness and meditation every day, try to clear my mind, make my body feel right. Take your health routine to the next level with the magic of contrast therapy. Meet our new amazing sponsor, Redwood Outdoors. They're making it easy to bring the benefits of saunas and cold plunges right to your backyard. A Redwood Outdoors backyard sauna seats 2 to 8 people, where you can relax, unwind, and enjoy all the benefits like reduced muscle tension, improved sleep, and glowing skin. And it doesn't stop there. Redwood Outdoors' invigorating cold plunge helps to boost circulation, sharpen your focus, and leave you feeling absolutely revitalized. Whether it's detoxing deeper, reducing inflammation, or connecting with loved ones in moments of peace, Redwood Outdoors has you covered. Enhance your physical and mental wellness routines with Redwood Outdoors. Take advantage of special savings today. Visit redwoodoutdoors.com. Use code DAN to save $175. That's redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN to save $175 on your order. redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN.
Don Batard.
The elephant went into a 7-Eleven and bought a pack of cigarettes. But my question to Ron is this.
Stugotz.
That joke didn't really land the way you wanted it to, did it? And we all just stared at you.
Didn't land at all. This is the Don Batard Show with the Stugotz.
That's right, it's time for Against the Spread! And it's brought to you by our friends at DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours. Mike, kick us off.
Headed out to the ice. I like the way that the Washington Capitals have bounced after this Four Nations break. Alexander Ovechkin with a hattie in his last game.
They bounced back. You're happy how they bounced back?
No, I liked how they bounced on that thing.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Calgary Flames coming over from Canada. It's a road trip. And honestly, the Capitals are just playing really good hockey. I'm a fan of them. They're probably going to get cursed by the President's Cup curse. It's looking that way. But I like them tonight. Minus one, not a Trump curse. The President's Cup. It's a thing.
No, the Trump Cup.
Yeah.
It was the Biden Cup.
Is it no longer the Biden Cup? Does it change names?
Wouldn't it? It's the president.
Well, it was invented under...
Minus 1.5 caps.
Against the Spread! Billy, bring us home.
I'm going to take the Ducks plus 1.5 against the Sabres. The Sabres are in last place in their conference. Now, granted, they had a big win against the Rangers last game, 8-2, and they would have covered against the Preds also, where they won 6-4 if that was a 1.5 point spread. But I'm 2-0 when I go Ducks this year. So
1.5 goal, not point. 1.5 goal.
No, there's points in hockey.
It's goals.
And then there's minuses in the...
It's a puck line.
Okay, I'm sorry, bouncing on over here. Anyways, I had your back. Yes, and. Jeez Louise. Ducks fly together. I'm going to take the Anaheim Ducks today. Plus 1.5 against the Buffalo Sabres.
I also like
against the spread.
I like how they've bounced after the All-Star break.
Yeah, same.
Nice little performance against Boston. They're actually not
Put up
that
a bunch
far
of
off
points
in the playoff standings.
Yeah.
I liked it better when Tony and Ron Magill were not friends. I liked it better when they were enemies and Ron was blocking his shot. But I do like that Tony celebrated one of our most popular guests ever, and it is...
Happy birthday to him. I don't care. Good luck.
65 years old, Ron Magill. Is that today? Is it this week? What are we celebrating? Are we celebrating you today? Greg, go ahead and pick up your thermos. Good work by you.
We were never enemies. Tony and I were never enemies. We were competitors.
I mean,
then I got old.
Okay. Well, you haven't played basketball in a while. Is this your birthday today?
It's Friday, actually.
Okay. Well, happy birthday this week.
Birthday week.
We will celebrate it here with you. How are you feeling your age? Are you feeling vibrant or are you feeling decrepit?
Well, I'm no longer playing basketball, which kind of sucks. But listen, I wanted to stop before I ruptured an Achilles, blew out a knee, did something that would be horrible to try to recuperate from at my elderly age.
Can you walk us through here, Ron, what it is that you're most excited about coming up in your travels? Because I don't know how much more traveling you intend to do to foreign and exotic locales, and I don't know what's left on the bucket list either.
Well, I'm going back to the Galapagos in May, which is going to be a great trip. The Galapagos is always a great adventure. Then I'm taking that big expedition to Australia in June, where we're doing the documentary with WPLG, Christy Kruger. And then I'm taking the family to Patagonia, Chile, Argentina, the glaciers, everything out there in October. So it's a busy year.
Billy, you offered very little there.
Just warning, be careful in Australia, Ron, if you want to get to 66,
let me get
you know
rid
what I
of
mean?
you here in a second.
What are you talking about?
Birthday week's a bit
about...
much, huh, Ron? I mean, geez, Louise, you guys had a dinner the other day that you put up all these pictures in. You were celebrating you today. It's not until actually Friday. Birthday, not birth week, birth month. What is this?
Guys, I prefer not to celebrate the day at all.
Oh, I know. We can tell.
My wife put together. And in hindsight, I'm really glad she did because some of my closest friends were there, and I didn't think all these people would travel from different corners of the place to come to this wonderful get-together we had. And I felt very privileged that I had so many good friends there. So I was a great surprise. But normally, I don't celebrate my birthday. I don't. I think once you get over 40, those birthday things are done.
Do you feel fortunate that your birthday landed on the 28th and not on Leap Day?
Yeah.
I missed it by half an hour, Mike.
Wow. What do you do then?
Then what? I'm 6 or 5, whatever that's going to be.
Not the math.
16.
Not even close, but that's fine. He's an animal guy.
Wow, Chris Cody just schooled you on math.
I mean, it's not.
That's a tough look.
Ron, the largest shark ever tagged is now off the coast of Florida. Do you care to revisit? What you have said about sharks, showering them with praise
Defend your shark propaganda.
when they are actually death machines?
So, Mike, let me ask you something. What does the fact that the largest shark that has been tagged as off the coast of Florida mean anything?
He's here to eat people.
Has anybody proven that largest shark has done any damage to anybody?
No, but that's convenient because you don't know what lies beneath the surface. Like, for example, in Australia, they have an abnormal amount of drownings.
Criminals.
Criminals.
It seems as though they're kind of like trying to skirt the law a little bit, which does not play well into their reputation. But these drownings, how do you think that ends?
Mike, you look at things through such a different lens all the time. You need to take the fogging off the lens. Australia is an incredible country. It's a great country. It's got phenomenal wildlife. Yes, 7 out of every 10 snakes there are deadly, but how many people come across them?
Ron, if you're in chest-high water off the coast of North Florida, and I say, Ron, the largest great white shark ever tagged is just a couple of yards away from you, what are you doing?
I'm probably going to get out of the water.
There you go. The defense rest.
Really?
Ron, I saw a story of Turks and Caicos where a tourist last week had her hands bitten off because she tried to take a picture with a shark in very shallow water.
Well, what does that reflect on? I'm so sorry she lost her hands. But listen, common sense just isn't common anymore. And I don't know what's happening in this world.
Right.
And I think a lot of this stuff is being driven by the stupid social media. Don't get me started in the social media with these people putting their backs to alligators to take selfie, trying to pet a freaking bison in Yellowstone. I'm tired of stupid. You can't fix stupid. The way you fix stupid is you get rid of it. And some of the animals are doing it for us.
Wow. Whoa! So the people have it coming is what you're saying.
Woo!
Darwin's hand.
Stupidness has its pitfalls.
A woman lost both her hands to a shark?
Yeah, but if that was a tuna, she'd have 2 hands. Because sharks are dangerous.
And
The problem here is the shark people, not the people.
How do you lose both hands? I feel like if
Mike,
there's a shark, I'm keeping my hands separate. You're not getting both of these things.
Well, if you hold the phone the way Greg does.
If you're just trying to take a picture of the shark and then the shark eats both your hands and the phone.
There's an age where the tipping point is to take a photo, you use both hands. You use both hands to also shine a light on your menu.
Yeah. This is a classic example of how social media has driven people to stupidity.
Ron, I have a question. If you remember something several years ago, our makeup artist revealed to me this morning that she met you at a Miami sort of like children's animal festival several decades ago and asked you if the chupacabra was real. Wow. And you gave her an assurance that no, it was in fact not real. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. You know, I became kind of a really bad guy there for a while because back in the chupacabra, I wish you wouldn't be phrasing things like several decades ago. It makes me sound like a fossil. But having said that, you know, when the chupacabra craze started, it was all fun and games. And then all of a sudden, people started having rifles on their front porch and in the front of their house. And they were ready to shoot the chupacabra. And that's when it became dangerous. Listen, you know, we got the skunk ape, we got Bigfoot. None of these things have ever been, you know, accused of harming anything. We had the chupacabra that was now killing livestock. It was killing animals. It was sucking the blood and sucking the organs out. And people were afraid. And that was stupid. And this is all just playing on this fictional character that came up. I said, hey, listen, don't you guys find it coincidental that chupacabras only found in Hispanic neighborhoods? Is it a racist animal? Why is it only going to the Hispanic neighborhoods? Why isn't it found anywhere else? And where's the proof of this stuff? And then when I finally proved it, I said, listen, you know what? The next animal that the chupacabra kills, that you guys say, oh, look at the chupacabra did here. It sucked all its blood out, took all its organs out. I want to take that animal live on television. We brought it on the new news live. We cut it open at Jackson Memorial Hospital doing an necropsy. And guess what? It was full of blood. It was full of its organs. And it showed that the two little bites on its neck were not a vampire, but a dog that had bitten it and strangled it and killed it that way, because that's what dogs do when they become feral. All right. And then all of a sudden, all the people that were making money off of selling the bumper stickers about the chupacabra and selling the T-shirts of the chupacabra and the radio stations that had all the lyrics and shticks going on, all of a sudden started losing all of their little clicks and attention because the chupacabra was proven to be false.
That's a great story. You eradicated the myth of the chupacabra personally.
I did, and I'm proud of it.
That's unbelievable. How am I just learning this now that Ron Magill proved forevermore ruined the myth of the chupacabra, ruined it by going to a hospital and providing
live
proof
on the 12 o'clock news, and one of the reporters got sick, vomited when we cut open the goat, and she saw the blood and the guts come out.
That's great television. Great television, Ron.
It was great television. It was great but it proved to these fools who are all caught up in this, oh my God. You know, I remember when I first went out there, the police were out there, the news stations were out there, and I said, oh no, this is dog. Look, these are all dog tracks. And then, you know, una abuela, she was over there on her porch, and she goes, no, you know, era grande con los ojos rojos y tenía fuego y las alas grandes, and all the cameras went right to her because here's this, you know.
Well, she's saying in Spanish that the thing had giant wings and was breathing flames.
Yeah.
Like, yes, that
probably was.
Ron.
Yeah, well, they captioned that on that. That came on the news, and they put the little captions, so they subtitled for her about, oh my God, it had the red eyes and the big wings, and I saw it fly away myself with my own two eyes. It exists. So who's not going to believe Grandma Abuelita? Okay, instead of the goof Ron Magill from the zoo, who's trying to put some common sense into people. But no, common sense doesn't sell bumper stickers. It doesn't sell fear. It doesn't sell T-shirts. So that's what they went with. That's the society we live in today. That's right, Dan. That's right. Close your eyes and shake your head.
That's the society.
You probably contribute to that crap.
No,
you probably would be one of the big
He definitely did. I remember. Yeah.
He saw the fire wings. Yeah.
Related to the chupacabra, if you had to bet on one of these mythical creatures that have been rumored to be in existence, like Nessie, Bigfoot, the Yeti, the chupacabra, which do you think has the most compelling evidence, and if you had to bet on being the most real?
Yeah,
it would have to be something in the ocean, because we have not been able to explore the ocean. I mean, you know, we've done some minor exploration, but when you think about the capacity, the size of the ocean, the depth of the ocean, places that we have not been able to go, I wouldn't be surprised for some mythical beast, if you want to quote unquote
Megalodon,
existing down that low, you know, and a place that still is yet to be. Listen, we know less about the ocean than we know about the moon, guys. So in the ocean, I would have a much broader open-mindedness regarding, you know, a mythical creature that could possibly still exist there.
Ron, you've been to Africa how many times? 50, 55?
54.
Okay. You know all about safari tours, the legality of it, the responsibility of it. What's your reaction to this headline? New Jersey man sues safari tour operator after rampaging hippo killed his wife in Africa.
Horrifically tragic. I feel terrible for that person. But anyone who goes to Africa, at least any responsible tour operator, makes it very clear. You sign a waiver that says, listen, you're going in with dangerous animals. Again, guys, this is not the safari ride at Disney. Dan knows that well. Dan's been next to me. Well, these animals come right next to us. If you don't act properly, if you get charged, these are things that can happen. Now, Dan's probably thinking back, hey, Ron, why didn't you tell me this could have happened back then? I did tell you that could happen, probably not going to happen, but it's a risk we take. It's a risk we take when we get in our car every day we drive to work. How many people are getting killed every day on the road in car wrecks? Guys.
It's not a risk that I'm going to be driving in my car and get hit by a buffalo. That's not a risk.
Dan?
I don't have that risk here.
Sounds like
Dan.
Ron said she had it coming also.
That's also.
I did not say she had it coming.
Yeah, you're an animal apologist. Like, all these animals are out here murdering people, and you're finding excuses why it's okay for all of them. The chupacabra was fine. The sharks biting people, they deserve it.
Dan, why would you attack that woman?
Animals are defending themselves and defending their territory.
Not sharks.
People would stop threatening them.
Sharks are invading our land.
Hippo does what a hippo does.
Ever heard of land sharks?
Wow, Billy.
Fins up.
Wow, Billy.
Ron.
Wow.
Ron, which animal would you like to kill you?
We've done this, I think, with him.
If it had to be any animal, it would probably be one of the big cats, a tiger, a lion, because it just bites you in the neck and it's over very quickly.
Is that over quickly?
Listen, let's talk about something better. Hey, Mike, how about those Cyclones, brother?
Yeah.
Whoosh. How about those Cyclones?
Whoosh. Did you watch yesterday?
I did not watch yesterday.
We got a dub. We won. We beat the defending champ Chargers.
Those guys were rocking. Listen, you did a great job in that draft, brother. Those guys came back. They
hear
took
that,
it
Billy?
all down. The Cyclones are for real this year.
You're an Iñaki guy, huh? How about Iñaki, number 69 in the program, but not 69 in your hearts?
Yeah, number one. No, it's fantastic to watch these guys play because finally they're playing some offense. Instead of this, volley back and forth, waiting for somebody to make a stupid mistake, these guys are starting to take chances. They're going in at it.
No more patty
cake.
cake.
It was great.
Yeah. Ron, I want to play a game with you called Animal Cruelty or Funny.
Okay.
We're at a horse ranch here, and there's a human wearing a horse head, and he takes it off, and the horse gets really scared and runs away. The horse thinks he's talking to a horse, and then the human takes off the mask, and then the horse says, "Hey, you're not a horse!" And he runs away.
Truly horrifying practical joke.
Is that animal cruelty or funny?
I'm gonna lean towards cruelty.
Oh, come on, that's good. That's good comedy.
Who's that dumb horse? That's a unicorn head. That horse should know.
Oh, the horse is in distress. It's sad.
So that's cruel.
It is. It got a little stress there, and anytime you stress out an animal for the sake of humor, I call that animal cruelty.
See, once again, I was defending animals.
How about this? How about this video here of some birds? You tell me these birds are circling a tombstone here. Does this feel haunting to you? What's happening?
Is this the same
here?
game? Animal cruelty or funny?
No, these are turkeys that are kind of going after each other as part of this whole.
Oh, they're playing tag? No. That's the lamest game of tag ever.
How's Harris feel about that?
It's turkeys. Turkeys do these things. And that's not animal cruelty. That's actually kind of funny because that's nothing that was inspired by us.
Ron, happy birthday.
It's like it's a euphemism for the election.
Thank you. Good seeing you, Ron. I do enjoy Greg saying, how does Harris feel about that? I'm guessing that Harris doesn't love that his or her tombstone is being
circled by turkeys.
Is being frolicked on by turkeys.
Hey, send me that graphic, man. I like that graphic. Thanks for working on that graphic. I like it. Send it to me so I can save it for my scrapbook. Thanks.
Ron, first of all, happy birthday. Also, I was at the zoo the other day, and I don't mean to cause trouble for you or make people not want to go to the zoo, but I was in the aviary, and there was a large bird that was like on the steps going up to like one of the levels in the aviary, and I was with my daughters and my wife, and I was walking down, so I thought I'd be like the brave dad that just like walks past the bird, so it kind of like shoos away, flies away, whatever, we can go, and it pecked at me. And luckily I didn't get hurt because it pecked at my sock, but you have some out of control birds in that aviary. They're just pecking at people if they try to walk by when they're on the walking path. What should I have done in that case?
Peck back.
Peck of dirt.
Continue walking. It's not a fatal peck. Probably a little startling. But I'll write a memo and address the issue and see if we can have some kind of disciplinary action against that bird.
All right.
I always sit out the bird aviary. I'm like, not for me. I'm good.
Ron, good seeing you. More than 150 false killer whales have washed up on the coast of the Australian island state of Tasmania. What does that mean? None of them are expected to survive.
That's usually what happens when these whales beach themselves. There's something wrong, either physically with them or something in the environment. It's almost like a form of suicide in a way. And it's a tragic thing, but these beachings with whales have happened across the millennium, and nobody really knows why.
A charming dismount.
Thank you so much for that. Happy note to end my
What's
segment.
a false killer whale? Like accused but not convicted?
I'll talk to you guys next week.
See you later, Ron.
Bye.
Good seeing you, as always.
I wanted to ask him about the Luka Doncic defensive metrics. You see they're third in defense since the acquisition? Wow. Who had that?
That doesn't seem like something that would be sustainable.
It's surprising that in this small sample it's been third.
Wouldn't everyone simply assume that if Luka and LeBron James at 40 are going to be on the court at the same time, it's going to be very hard to find any three defenders in the world who are going to make that a good defense? That you can't hide the oldest player in the league and everything that they did to Doncic that made Dallas decide, among other things, though we can't have that playing defense in the final.
I would say it would be impossible to hide for a game. They've hit it for multiple games. I would have thought that there's plenty of places you could attack them defensively.
I wanted to ask you guys something because I'm assuming, now I know defense is always done poorly in the NBA in terms of how it's measured by the novice. But I'm assuming when you have Anthony Davis, that you have a better chance of being good defensively than if you don't have Anthony Davis. And the Lakers, I think everyone can agree with that, even if they don't know anything about defense. The thing I wanted to ask you about Anthony Davis is that if any of you have seen that he has a new show on Max, Anthony Davis, Foul Play. It is a prank show.
About birds?
It is not about birds.
Are you pranking me?
I am not pranking you. There is a new show that I assume
Had to be a playoff brow something. I can't believe that.
it was off of, I'm assuming, before he was traded to the Mavs. I'm guessing this was all put together in some sort of production deal on the side with the Lakers. Hey, Anthony Davis, you've shown very little personality over your career. You want an entire prank show? Sure. We'll just put your name on it and then make people think that you're more famous than you actually are.
In his defense, we didn't really know much about Ashton Kutcher before he did his prank show.
Well, the thing I wanted to ask you is I don't feel like you can go wrong with a prank show. I feel if you give me a prank show, I'll watch it for 9 minutes.
Sure.
I'll give you one prank of a chance to get me with a prank show. A prank show always works, does it not?
I feel like my dad could not host a prank show.
He's teaming up with Impractical Jokers. He is teaming up. That's part of what it is that they're doing on Max's Foul Play.
I've done some digging, and I found perhaps a player that you could pair with LeBron and Luka to make it a good defense. Now, they've been the number one scoring team, and they've also had the number one defense over the last 17 games, and they've been third since trading away Anthony Davis. However, there's this player, Jared Vanderbilt, who is essential to their defense because they have a defensive rating of 110.7 with him on the court, but one of 116 points without him on the court. So when he's on the court helping their defense, it certainly hides the issues that you would assume would be there with LeBron at 40 and Luka.
And he gets pranked in episode 1, apparently. Do you think Anthony Davis thought that the trade was part of the prank show when he found out about it?
That's a good question.
Is this the pilot?
I only saw episode 1, so I don't know if there are more. It was with
Was it good?
with D'Angelo Russell.
I heard Cameron Brink was in it, too.
Yes.
By heard, I mean I just read that in the Sports Business Journal.
That is correct. I am not willing to say that Vanderbilt is the reason that they are good at defense. I'm going to say it's because they played Charlotte in the first game.
They also played Denver.
That one was confusing to me because I saw that Jokic went like 2 for 7 from the field and had 12 points.
When Anthony Davis is supposed to be the guy that stops
I'm like,
him.
what the hell? I didn't even understand that box score. When I saw it, that is the worst game in a box score I've ever seen Jokic have. Like it was 12 points, it was 2 for 7, and I'm looking through minutes trying to figure out, was he hurt? Like how is there a game Denver played in that Jokic only gets 7 shots and misses 5 of them?
That is the outlier, though. I think part of the explanation and why their defense has been so good is Hornets, Trailblazers, Jazz twice. Well, that would certainly boost that defensive rating.
It should be called Anthony Davis's highbrow humor.
That's what I was looking for. Something like that.
That's pretty good, actually. That's better than foul play. They got into.
Shouldn't it be lowbrow?
Lowbrow, yeah.
Or anyway,
it's a prank
just
show.
prank.
It's a
Just
lowbrow.
brow.
But they needed a brow. They needed a brow.
Yeah.
Do you know how uninteresting you have to be as a sports star for the only information for Chris Cody to have about your personality to be your single eyebrow? Like, just to play as a Laker. This is what I think of Anthony Davis. I think he will be criminally underregarded, the legacy of Anthony Davis, because he had to be number 2 to LeBron James. I think him healthy is a number 1, but he got undone by what happened with organizationally with the Pelicans that has since happened to Zion. And like, Anthony Davis is a number 1. I can win a championship with Anthony Davis as my number 1, but because he played next to LeBron, I think he'll forever be underregarded as a basketball player, even though, like, I can make the argument that guy is a top 50, top 75 talent of all time.
He was such a star in college, though, when we used to actually talk more about men's college hoops. Such a star. I don't know.
He was on the Ruffles bag.
He doesn't have a lot of personality, though. We're stuck on the eyebrow, a single eyebrow.
But maybe that's on us, though.
LeBron sees something.
Yes, and?
Hey there, wellness warriors. If you're like me, you've given a lot of thought to how to improve your health and wellness routine this year. I've started stretching more, do a little mindfulness and meditation every day, try to clear my mind, make my body feel right. Take your health routine to the next level with the magic of contrast therapy. Meet our new amazing sponsor, Redwood Outdoors. They're making it easy to bring the benefits of saunas and cold plunges right to your backyard. A Redwood Outdoors backyard sauna seats 2 to 8 people, where you can relax, unwind, and enjoy all the benefits like reduced muscle tension, improved sleep, and glowing skin. And it doesn't stop there. Redwood Outdoors' invigorating cold plunge helps to boost circulation, sharpen your focus, and leave you feeling absolutely revitalized. Whether it's detoxing deeper, reducing inflammation, or connecting with loved ones in moments of peace, Redwood Outdoors has you covered. Enhance your physical and mental wellness routines with Redwood Outdoors. Take advantage of special savings today. Visit redwoodoutdoors.com. Use code DAN to save $175. That's redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN to save $175 on your order. redwoodoutdoors.com, code DAN.
Hey friends, it's Bear here, and I'm here to tell you all about Boost Mobile, which is now a legit nationwide 5G network. So I must take a break from the jokes here for a second and put on my serious voice, because I would never ever joke about a 5G network that has invested billions building 5G towers across the country. Not even once. Not even if Mr. Boost Mobile himself asked me to. There is nothing funny about it. Boost Mobile is now a legit nationwide 5G network and also provides coverage across 99% of America. Seriously. Visit boostmobile.com or your nearest Boost Mobile store location to learn more. The Boost Mobile network, together with our roaming partners, covers 99% of the U.S. population. 5G speeds, not available in all areas.